everybody, I'm here to talk to you today about the concept of belonging, and what I mean by belonging is that feeling that you belong in a group or belong in society at large. All of us at times have felt like we don't belong, and I'm sure all of us at times have felt like we do. I want you to think back to what you felt like at those times. I'm sure we all have positive associations with the times that we have felt like we belong. Like maybe we're a part of something, we're accepted, we're treated as equals by one another, and those feelings of not belonging probably have some negative associations. Maybe loneliness, anxiety, discomfort, or low confidence or self-esteem. I'm going to talk to you about belonging through the lens of individual psychology. Individual psychology is basically just a framework for thinking about human beings, their mental health, and the way that they function within the world. The founder of individual psychology is Alfred Adler. Alfred Adler believed that all of us depend on each other, and that was kind of the basis for his theory. He called it the iron logic of communal life, which is basically just a fancy way of saying that human beings are embedded in life and a larger whole. So all of us are embedded in our communities and embedded in our families. We all need each other to continue surviving and moving forward. So this refers to the very basic dependence that we have on other human beings, like the way that we depend on people to farm for our food, people to build houses, people to work to provide electricity and transportation, all of those things that we need to survive and function on a daily basis. Alfred Adler also believed that belonging was an important part of having good mental health. And this has actually been proven in research and case studies that we have access to today. What Adler believed about belonging was that when a person feels like they don't belong, that leads to feelings of inferiority. Feelings of inferiority are something that everyone experiences in their life, and they can actually lead you to do some positive things. They push you to try to improve your position in life and to contribute to society. But when inferiority feelings become overwhelming for someone, it kind of leads to poor mental health, which in turn leads to unhealthy, destructive behaviors. This unfortunately leads to a vicious cycle. So the more that person doesn't feel like they belong, the more disruptive their behavior becomes, and this leads to less reliable support from people in their lives because those destructive behaviors are kind of pushing them away. So it's likely that all of you here have experienced that feeling of not belonging, which has led to some unhealthy behaviors and choices. We're going to talk about what you can do to create more of a feeling of belonging in your families. Parents, this is where your role is very important because the family dynamic sets the stage for whether or not your child is going to feel like they belong. One thing that is important is your family's approach and attitude toward daily living and the struggles that come up in life. Approaching life with the attitude that you're a team that is facing every day together is going to foster a sense of belonging within your family. Everyone in the family is going to feel higher feelings of belonging if you approach each other with a mutual respect. This doesn't mean that your teenager gets to make all of the decisions in their lives, but it does mean that they're treated in a respectful way and that their opinions are valued and thought through. When a person feels like they belong, they feel equal and that their contributions to the family are valued. Another aspect that can be really important to fostering a sense of belonging in your family is what Alfred Adler called the community feeling. This concept basically means that a person has an awareness of their belonging in the world at large, and the other key point is them understanding that they have a responsibility to contribute because they are belonging to that larger community of the human race. So just like feelings of inferiority can lead to that vicious cycle I mentioned earlier, the community feelings and contributing can lead to a positive cycle. So the more you're contributing to your community and family, the higher sense of belonging that you're going to have, which is going to lead to a higher desire to contribute. This is also going to lead to a higher sense of belonging, which will in turn lead to better mental health and higher self-esteem. You can decide as a family what this contributing might look like depending on your situation in life. It's hard for us to determine that for you, but maybe this is contributing at home, or maybe engaging in some kind of community service as a family. Maybe some of you teens are thinking that feelings of belonging are unrelated to the struggles that you've been going through because you don't care about belonging or what other people think about you. I'm not here to convince you otherwise, but I can share my own experience of working with teens who have been in similar situations. I spent some time working with teens in residential treatment, some of whom were involved in criminal activity and gangs. In moments of anger, I would sometimes hear them talk about how they don't care about what people think, or they don't care about other people in general. But interestingly enough, when many of them talked about what drew them to gang life, it was the fact that they felt like they were a family. So they were like loyal to each other, and they felt like they had a place where they belonged. So maybe this is a reason that some of you have chosen to engage in this lifestyle as well. They found an unhealthy way to get that feeling of belonging because the family or community that they were in was not providing that for them. So again, I want to ask you to think about what it would be like if within your family you felt respected, you felt like you were treated as an equal, and you felt like you were valued. Maybe at this moment that doesn't seem like a possibility, but I'm sure that we can all agree that this would be the ideal scenario, especially when you're struggling with mental health and legal issues. So you can contribute by creating this feeling of family belonging within your family. You play just as an important role as your parents because mental health increases when every individual in the community feels like they belong. Your parents might not have high feelings of belonging within your family either because of the way that they're being treated, and that's something that's important to think about. It's just as important to try to show your parents that you have a mutual respect for them and that their contributions are valued. This is just going to lead to higher feelings of belonging within your family and better mental health for all of your family members. So this is definitely a way that you can contribute to trying to create this dynamic of belonging within your family. I really appreciate all of you hearing me out. Hopefully some of this was helpful for you, but if not, it's definitely just something for you to consider as you're moving forward on your journey of healing and growth. Thank you.